What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Christian here again with another video, and today we're discussing PVE content, specifically the story mode, and why it failed to appease players and get them to try the mode out or even come back for multiple playthroughs. Okay, and keep in mind, guys, I am a Z rank level player with close to 500 hours on the game, so clearly I like the gameplay of Sparking Zero. So shouldn't that equate to me liking the story mode as well? Well, not exactly, and I'm gonna explain why. Okay, so number one is the user interface and excessive cutscenes. Like I said, I like the gameplay loop of Sparking Zero clearly, but this game seems to want to do everything in its power to prevent me from actually playing the game. Between actual gameplay moments, they just bog down the experience with unnecessary cutscenes and slideshows explaining the story that we've seen hundreds of times already. And I'm not gonna lie, I could end the video right there because that alone is gonna turn off a lot of players from even trying the experience. Okay, but to make it worse is that they don't make it easy to repeat missions that you actually like. Okay, if I want to fight Raditz again here, I have to fight with the menus to exit the story and re-enter it, so that I could actually navigate the mission selection menu, which is already convoluted enough and a pain in the ass. And this is a problem that compounds on itself because they decided to divide the story up into different characters, meaning you're gonna see the same slideshows multiple times explaining the same story over and over and over again from different perspectives. And in my opinion, that was a horrible design choice. Whoever thought that was a good idea over at Spike, my goodness, guys, come on. Like, do you guys even play your games before you release them? And that's an actual question because that alone makes multiple playthroughs unbearable. Number two is that the mission design is uninspired. Okay, so we can all agree that Sparking Zero is a beautiful game with amazing animations that are canon accurate, right? So my question is, why didn't you use those amazing animations to tell the story within the gameplay instead of excessive slideshows? We know from the custom battle menu that you can force actions like supers, ultimates, transformations, sparking modes, and even changes to stats. So then why do I need to watch a slideshow of Vegeta transforming into a great ape when the animation is already in the game and in the gameplay? You could have just did it within the fight and had that fight be a huge set piece at a big raid boss battle, but instead you cut the gameplay short to show me a slideshow of Vegeta transforming. I feel like that's just a waste of time, a waste of assets, and it's just uninspired in my opinion. And that's what's frustrating about Sparking Zero, is that all of these ingredients are already in the game, but the devs just made baffling design choices and then choose to put those ingredients together. So I'm gonna give you another example. You have the ability to make team battles in the game. Okay, so why can't I fight a team of Cybermen and Nappa with Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, Chaozu, and all those other characters? You could have forced me to start as Yamcha, and when my switch timer goes all the way up and I'm about to switch, you force me to eat an ultimate from the Cyberman, actually telling the narrative in the gameplay instead of showing me this boring ass slideshow of what happened in the story. Then you could have brought in Nappa with OP stats and have us fight him with Krillin, Tien, Chaozu, and Piccolo, made a huge raid battle out of it so that when Goku comes in and takes him out by himself, you feel Goku's dominance through the gameplay instead of cutscenes. Instead, they have these missions that just end in like 2 minutes and you're forced to sit through like 2 to 3 more minutes of slideshows just to get to the next gameplay moment, and it just kills any exciting moment from the show and just bogs it down and makes it boring. You know, like I said with the Vegeta fight, for example, that should have been a team battle. That should have been a whole raid boss. Maybe start with Goku only, but after he transforms into Great Ape, bring in Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe, and let us do like a whole DP battle against the Great Ape form. And even give Krillin the Spirit Bomb ult, because I know you can change supers, you know, with the dev tools. You could have just gave Krillin the Spirit Bomb ult for just that one mission so that we could end the saga in style and have Krillin hit Vegeta with the Spirit Bomb. There's so much stuff that could be done to this mode to make it more interesting, but they just chose to give us quantity and not quality like a lot of other things in the game. And what we got is just a bunch of simple uninspired missions with no replay value and a bunch of quality animations and interactions that just went to waste for whatever reason. So number 3 reason is that the AI programming is just not fun to play against, okay? So I've said it before in my criticism of Legendary Warrior Face-Off, but the AI doesn't even come close to feeling like a real player. In some ways, defensively, they feel cracked, almost unreal, but offensively, they act like they don't even know how to play the game. And it's a weird feeling playing against that, and not in a good way. So what ends up happening is that you end up trying feints or setups that you know generally would work against a human player, even skilled players, and the computer just magically blocks the right way or vanishes most of the setups that you do, okay? And offensively, they just do bad combos that just push you away and don't put a lot of pressure on you defensively. So you end up feeling like you're playing one of those DP battle stallers who just runs away all match. And honestly, this AI problem ruins any Legendary Warrior face-off attempt that comes out. The first Broly was just a super spammer, and the next one was just an elusive punching bag. And neither of those was fun to play against if we're gonna keep it honest. So I don't know what you could do to fix that, but if you want fun PvE content in the future, Spike, the AI needs to be improved. I don't care if you have to take our data and put it into ChatGPT to get the code so that the computer actually plays like one of us, but go ahead and do it. I'll donate my gameplay, I don't care. Just know that I be dropping banishes all the time, so OPAC and them are gonna have a field day whooping the AI clone of myself, okay? But at least they'll have fun doing it. So number 4 is not enough what if scenarios. Now, this all ties into the mission design problem because they chose to divide the mode into characters. A lot of the story beats just get repeated multiple times and you don't have room for what ifs and new content. But I do want to give props because the content that is there is cool and sometimes unexpected. For example, I ran into a what if scenario where Goku chooses to team up against First Form Cell with the androids and they just jump his ass and kill him before he transforms. That's pretty cool, and I would have liked more of that instead of the same old tired missions where you deplete maybe like half a health bar and just go right back to the menu to watch slideshows for 3 minutes. Like many things in Spark and Zero, this is an editing problem, okay? A lot of quantity, not enough quality, okay? If you consolidate a lot of these missions into big set pieces like I mentioned, have less of them, then you got more room to experiment with alternate timelines and scenarios, which at this point is necessary to keep the story interesting after all these years of us watching the same thing. And finally, number 5 is the lack of customization options, okay? Now, one thing I've always wondered was, what was the point of including a capsule system in the game, and where exactly are we supposed to use that? Because obviously we're not using it online and there's no other PvE content that we could use it on. So why not use it in the story mode? Because basically in the story mode, they kind of dictate your stats to make fights canon accurate. So you can't really use them there, and you can't really change out your supers or even use alternate costumes in story mode to my knowledge. So why even play the story mode at that point after you're done with it when you can't customize the experience? In my opinion, they should just let you use capsules once you beat the main story so that you can complete the alternate scenarios with extra stats without having to cheese the AI. And maybe I want my Vegeta to stomp on Frieza on Namek with the capsules. I should be able to do that, and that would make it easier for me to, actually get to the alternate scenarios. Or if they had actual extra costumes, maybe I want to put the Bad Man shirt on Vegeta and go and kill Zarbon on Namek. Like, those fun interactions could be possible in story mode if you had more customization options. So that's the 5th reason why story mode is not as good as it could be. Well, let me know what you think. Did you enjoy your first playthrough through story mode, and would you ever consider going back if they add some of these options? What could they have done different to make this mode higher quality, and more playable? And let me know if I'm right about the mission design. Do you think it's uninspired? Should we have had, more team battles, more use of the DP battle system, and more use of the great animations that are in this game to actually tell the story instead of the slideshows? Let me know, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.